Hello everyone, welcome to Science and Environment series with Dr. Vivek. Topic for today's discussion is from biotechnology and environment section. There is an environmental body which is in news, so we'll be decoding what is the history, what are the objectives, and what are the highlights of this all important environment organization. Because we have seen in UPSC prelims, barring this 2020 exam, in 2017 to 2019 there have been quite a few questions on environmental organizations, their mandate and their structuring. So we'll be decoding today LaCONES. So what exactly is LaCONES, what is mandate is going to be the theme for today's lecture. So first of all, the acronym, you can see that I have written A in small and rest all in capitals. So it clearly highlights that the first two words stands for laboratory, then we have ON for conservation, and ES, since it's an environment topic, you can guess it, it stands for endangered species. Just like we had seen in last lecture, there is a convention called CITES, which says Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species. So you can make it out that this is not too enough to grab. Yes, if you are hearing it for the first time, this theme might have surprised you. Now coming to the location part, it is in Hyderabad city. We have seen in biotechnology and our science and tech teams, lot of scientific organizations are mainly concentrated in Bengaluru and Hyderabad. So you can make always an educated guess in case you are not too sure about it. Now the concept of this laboratory of environment conservation was conceptualized by Lalji Singh. And if you could recall our class lectures on achievements of Indian scientists, we have discussed the contribution of the Lalji Singh. Just like in Western world, we say Alec Jeffreys as father of the all important DNA fingerprinting. In India, the Lalji Singh is popularly known as father of DNA fingerprinting in India. So you can say that he had a lot of research in the molecular biology as well as the molecular genetics. So he was the brain behind the conceptualization of this laboratory. So if we go back to the history, its lab was created in 1998 and the main organizations which were involved was Central Zoo Authority of India along with the government of Andhra Pradesh, which is located in the Hyderabad city, and also CSIR. CSIR is another scientific organization which is playing important role in developing the tools for industry. It is Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, and it functions under as a part of CCMB. CCMB, we all know, is Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology. So and that itself is located in Hyderabad. So it is a part of CCMB. So make sure you are thorough with the workings of, because these organizations, both CSIR, CCMB, we had covered in our biotech lectures. So this is where the history comes, and the objective is straightforward. It will try to make the best use of available biotechnology themes for conservation of endangered species, and it will involve the both in situ as well as ex situ conservation. The in situ conservation stands for the conservation of wildlife species in their natural habitat, whereas ex situ involves the more scientific process in case we feel that the poaching race or the climate change, or we feel that the animal cannot be saved in its natural habitat. We then go for conservation of species outside their natural habitat in a controlled environment. That's where the ex situ comes into the picture, and it has this aura of scientific method, and that's where this organization is playing a critical role. So why are we focusing this laboratory for a change? Because the highlights is this is the first ever Indian, you could say, gene bank laboratory of India, and it has to its credit that it is the only laboratory in India which is using the cryopreservation of semen and oocytes of such wildlife animal species, and it has been successful in reproducing the spotted deer, the black buck, and also the Nicobar pigeon. So the techniques of are quite sensitive of collecting such semen as well as oocytes and then using them specifically for the preservation is a technical part, which is this is the only lab currently performing. So that's what makes this lab an important player in the wildlife conservation through ex situ conservation. So make sure any such future, you can visit their website, you could see the long list of the works done so far, you will see the ones I have just said. You will then, and is also developing biomarkers, and it's trying some new experiments which can help in preserving the wildlife, because we all know that sustainable development demands that we should respect the biodiversity and should make every effort to conserve it. India, being the developing country, has limited land mass, but it has a huge biodiversity potential. It is among the 12 mega biodiverse countries of the world, and if we don't take the efforts ourselves, we'll be losing the you could say the treasures of this biodiversity in near future. So this year has been a tough one for everyone, but it has taught important to conserve and maintain harmony with the nature. Otherwise, nature will reclaim its glory back from us. So this is all we have to say in today's lecture on environmental organization. It was a short lecture, and you could add this in your environmental organizations, because such themes, whenever they come, they are out of box, and students tend to find them difficult because there is not much concept involved. We find it difficult to cover in our class lectures itself, but whenever we are doing the value addition, we will try to cover them. So recently it was the news because the international wildlife experts had a virtual conference where they discussed the future strategies and how to make the best use of the available cryopreservation technique. So cryopreservation is a preservation in which we use low temperature to preserve the cells. So if you have any specific doubts, you can ask them in comment section. I hope this session was useful, and thank you very much. Have a nice day.